Over the last 5 years, we've learned what works to help wineries run efficiently and grow their business. We've helped a lot of wineries use technology to support their business process and comply with regulations. Most importantly, we've learned how to support staff through the seasons and get ownership the information they need to keep their finger on the pulse of the business. The first question all this begs is what we mean by best of breed. What we mean is that wineries are best served by choosing the best technology to solve each business challenge they face. The best technology for your winery will of course depend on many factors, but most wineries follow the same basic business processes. First, someone needs to make the wine. How this happens and what support is needed here will vary quite a bit, but the key information you want to get is cost of goods sold so you can figure out how much profit you make when you sell it. The next step is selling the wine, typically starting in a tasting room, but this also covers a range of other in-person transactions and businesses. At the same time, for many wineries, you'll want the wine to be listed for sale online, particularly in wine clubs. And in our experience, this channel is also the best way to handle other shipped orders like phone orders or donations. And of course, all this activity needs to find its way back into accounting. Winery Connect has worked with wineries to select a set of strategic technology partners, each of which is best at what they do. On the point of sale end, we have Revel deployed at a wide range of wineries. Online, we have two options. Nexternal is a well-established and winery-tested solution with a powerful wine club, and Magento is a low-cost alternative. For production control, we're working primarily with VinTrace, a large company with a great reputation and a fully functional and connectable product. And we've also started working with the wine management systems. QuickBooks is the most common winery accounting system, and we've established relationships with several service providers who can connect to these systems. The net result is that with Winery Connect, our customers are broadly supported in their key business processes by large industry-leading organizations, each with their own area of expertise. This best-of-breed approach does come with its own challenges, the first being that your business data, things like products and customers and orders, need to be copied between several different systems. But what if those systems could talk to each other? Well, in fact, this is exactly what VinESB does. VinESB is our very own enterprise service bus, which connects our strategic partners' business systems. I'll get into exactly how this works, but to appreciate why we need to do this, and how this is critical to building winery intelligence, let's take a little trip back in time to just over 150 years ago. The year is 1860. Driven by the gold rush and westward expansion, a new express mail service has just been established called the Pony Express. They find the fastest riders and send them across the country in a big relay. Each time a rider gets tired, they stop in one of the Pony Express stations along this route and pass their messages off to a fresh rider. Now messages can be delivered to the West Coast in a blazing fast 10 days where it used to take 6 months. We're not even talking about getting a bottle of wine delivered. This is just a little message. The reason I bring this up is that what we found working with wineries is that many key business processes are still isolated, much like cities used to be. Production control is generally not supported by any system, so information about wine produced is originally recorded on paper or spreadsheet, which isn't a bad way to run things depending on the size of your operation, but what happens is that staff end up shouldering the burden of keeping things in sync. Like the Pony Express, someone needs to take the paper or spreadsheet and enter that information manually into a point-of-sale system. Other staff then re-enters the same data into an online store so you can sell the wine online. Customer data is often copied from the online store into an email marketing system, but is not typically copied from the online store into the POS, so you end up with several sets of customer data that don't match. The biggest issue, however, is that when orders do come in online, staff manually re-enter them into the POS one by one to update inventory and financial reporting, which means that you can't grow online sales efficiently. Financial data is then copied from the POS into accounting, and finally, much of this activity needs to be manually analyzed to do things like calculate excise tax due or just to understand what's going on in your operation. All these manual processes and running around happen in all businesses, so much so that it's even got a name. It's called a sneaker network. Essentially at QLS, we replace this sneaker network with a software network to connect winery business systems automatically. This is what we call VinESB. ViniusB provides integration as a service, which means that when it makes sense, you can swap out existing systems and replace them with new systems we've proven work for wineries. You can replace old POS systems with modern systems like Revel. Replace outdated online stores with Nexternal. Bring in VinTrace or wine management systems for production control. And we've developed our own set of micro apps for customer relationship management. One reason we partnered with Revel for POS is that Intuit invested substantially in them, resulting in a tight integration to QuickBooks. But we've gone further and paid a winery accountant to write a manual for us on how this integration works to support winery accounting. Our goal is to enable wineries to choose the best systems to support their operations at each stage of their growth.